Hello everyone and welcome at Shanna. I've got the holiday DIY expansion color pack and I love this color palette. So I have picked out some colors from my Spellbinders paper and I think these are going to look very nice with the card that I've chosen. I think that these match very nicely. I've also got a panel that I have foiled and I've got a piece of black that I'll probably use as well. But I've chosen these colors based upon the color card. So I'm also bringing in the Yuletide Ride die set, and I'm going to be making a card with this. So we're going to use this fun color palette with this crazy Yuletide Ride where everything is stuck on top of the car and just piled wildly high. So I have sped this up as I'm choosing the colors and getting all the dies laid down and die cut out so that it just doesn't take forever on this video. And we're going to get all of the pieces using the colors that I have selected here, and it's going to come together nicely. Now I am having fun. If you watch my videos, you may have noticed a couple times recently I've been using these color cards to help me choose my colors. And I've really been having fun with it. It really gets me using some different colors and putting together some different color combinations that I wouldn't normally think of. And I think I'm generating some really interesting looking cards by doing that. So I have the color cards from the Weekender kit, and I have this holiday expansion. And so I'm thinking about actually getting these just because I really am finding them beneficial, and I've enjoyed working with the ones that I have. So I'm going to get these pieces die cut out. We're going to have to die cut some more out, I think, once I realize that I don't have everything I need. And I'm going to pop all these pieces out and get everything ready. I had that one die, the tree was upside down when I ran it through there. And so I'm going to flip the paper over, turn the die the right way, and die cut it out, and it looks fine. It didn't have any, messed up edges or anything like that from having ran it through upside down. Excuse me, I've been outside in the heat all day playing with the kids, and I just got inside and cooled off in the air conditioning, and I've got a little tickle in my throat. So anyway, we're going to get all of these bits and pieces popped out of this cardstock, and then we'll get to assembling this. So just a little update. I've talked about this week being incredibly busy. Last night, my sister and I went to the church, and we spent a good amount of time working on the stage for VBS, and we got a lot done. We made a wonderful waterfall. We've got kind of jungle scenes. We've got our shipwrecked boat. We've got some palm trees that I painted and just some really fun elements. The waterfall turned out really fun. And so we got a lot done last night. And so my sister said, did we get enough done? Here I'm putting together the stocking that we can take tonight off this evening and go to the concert. And I said, I think we did, because my primary concern was the stage because it's such a big stage. And we got it pretty much taken care of. So next we just have a couple of hallways, and then she needs to decorate her room, and then the teachers will decorate the other rooms. But we made really good progress. We've got some help from some people coming in, so that's going to help us. But we really cranked out what we wanted to do last night with the stage. I might pop up a picture so you can see what the waterfall looks like. So here it is. We made it out of Amazon boxes and Amazon packaging, and then we bought some, I don't know what those things are called. They're like little sheets that make little sparkly wall scenes or whatever, and it came together pretty nicely. We had a lot of fun doing it. Seeing our vision kind of coming together. We did that was an idea from a Pinterest board, so that's where we got the board. Now here I am, or the idea I should say. Now here I am laying the this would be like the lights around the Christmas tree, and I've just die cut them out in black, and there's little tiny dots on there that you'll put your ornaments or your lights on, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to get them laid down on here. And there's a real long strand that's kind of hanging off the tree that you'll add to it. And I die cut out a bunch of yellow and purple circles that we can use on this. And I think I'll go back and die cut out some pink and bring them in later. And I've got some of them on my board there. So we'll get all those laid down on there. So this is really a fun set. It's very whimsical, kind of playful, with the little, almost like a Beetle car, a Volkswagen type small car with a whole bunch of Christmas stuff piled on top of it. So it's a really, really super cute set. And I've had this pulled together, the cardstock and the color deck card, knowing the color scheme that I was going to do for quite some time, and it's been laying in my craft room, and I've just had so many things going on and things that I needed to release and everything that I hadn't had a chance to get to it, and I finally decided I'm going to get to this and get this card made, and I think it turns out really cute. It's a non-traditional Christmas color card, which I like. I think it's fun to use different colors to work on your Christmas cards. And I did finally get some glue in, and lo and behold, when I went to fill the bottle up that had the fine tip point on it, the fine tip, I was trying to clean it with a pen and it came out of the bottle. And so now I'm using a wider tip, and I have been a gluey mess on this video. You might notice I'll have pieces, parts sticking to my fingers, and I'll try to get them glued down, and then they'll be stuck to my fingers instead of the die cut piece, and just a gluey mess. I had some of those little tiny bottles from Hobby Lobby that have the real fine tip on them, and I think they'd all kind of gotten, kind of messed up, and I pitched them, and so I need to get some more of those and just use some of those for the fine tips, because some of these pieces you really need that. You really need a real fine tip to get these glued up. So now is where I'm going to bring in some more dots in some different colors so that we can add it to our long piece of, I don't know, lights or string of ornaments or whatever you want to call it. And so this will give us some different color, and we'll be able to use the different colors on the lights and the little wreath. And so I'm just scraping that off. And you can see I've got tons of little tiny, tiny circular die cut pieces there. Now this is the little envelope, and I do have a darker purple heart that I'm going to lay down on there and just add the decorative element to it. And I decided it probably would help if I zoomed in a little bit. And so I'll zoom in so that you can see me assembling all these little bits. And then when I go to show you the card, I'm zoomed in so much that I make it difficult to show you the card. I always forget to zoom back out. So we'll get these little bulbs or lights or whatever you want to call them laid down on here, and our tree's going to come together. Now I'm going to look for the trunk of the tree, and I'll be like, where is it? And then eventually I'll find that it was left on the die, and it's over on that magnetic sheet, and I'll be able to pull it back in. But I just keep assembling things as I see what they are and what I need to pull together. So it's kind of hodgepodge in how I'm assembling it. So here we've got the candy cane, and we've got two different colors. We've got two-tone on there, and we'll just layer it up. This is very similar to the candy cane in I think both the Clauses and the Santa's elves that are Simon Hurley. This candy cane here is very similar to that. And so we got that assembled. And I've got these are like, I don't know, almost like Will-Wells and I'm going to use the purple for that. Off camera, I'm wiping off some of that glue so that we don't have a big mess. And I've got one of the Will-Wells and one of the tires die cut out, and I'll realize I needed to do that twice. So I'll pause and bring those in, and we'll get our other Will-Well and our Will laid down on there. I'm just kind of scraping all those die bits together so that I can just round them all up so they'll be ready to go when I get ready to put them on my card. And so we'll get that other Will laid down on there. And I think I realized too, here's where I realized that I cut the tail lights and the headlights out in pink. And so I wouldn't have any contrast. So I went ahead and brought that yellow in that we used for some of the other things and die cut them out, and we'll lay them down here on our card. Now the tail light I put behind there, it didn't have any debossed detail for laying it on top. So I just snuggled it in behind there. And then for the headlight, you do have some debossed detail that shows you right where to put it. And I wasn't certain what that other oval piece is for. This is the headlight. But I think it is, you can pop out that little piece in the door handle and then just stick this oval behind it and you'll have a different colored door handle. So that's what I'll do. I may or not be correct with that, but it worked for me and that's what I did. So here we'll grab it up and put a little glue on there, and that's going to be my door handle. Whether it's supposed to be or not, that's what it is. Now I'm going to get my candy cane and try to get it stuck on my stocking, and I'll get it stuck to my finger and everything else, and eventually we'll get it attached. There we go. And I had an extra little heart, so I thought it'd be cute to just put a little heart on there and just add a little extra detail. I had die cut out more pieces than what I needed. Now this is like the rack that we're going to put all of our stuff on. Isn't that cute? Super cute. I've got a little glue on there. I got to get it cleaned up. And then we're just going to start piling this stuff on here once we get it all together. Trying to decide what I'm going to assemble next. I think I decided to go with packages. Now here I've got the lid going in the wrong direction, and when I lay it down here I'll realize that I did that, and then I'll have to wipe it clean, and this is another one of those gluey mess situations that I've had myself in during this video. And we'll get this one laid down on there. So it's like the top to our box. And then I found this is the piece that is the tree trunk. I had die cut it out in yellow because it goes with the star. The star and the trunk are on the same die. And so I'm just going to lay it down on there kind of wonky, and I'm going to start layering out my packages on my car. And I thought the till would look nice laying on that yellow package, so I decided to do it that way, and then I can put the purple up next to the till tree, and then we'll have the till box lid above that, and it'll help to create some contrast with that. Now you could use this little car without all this Christmas stuff and just use it for, you know, any season that you wanted to. It'd be super fun. Now there's a two-part bow element. We've got the kind of like, you know, if you wrap the ribbon around the present and then put your bow on there, and then you've got the pieces to the bow, and we'll get that laid down on there. I think I might get it stuck to my finger too. You can see my fingers are all gluey. I eventually stop and I get, I don't know, my alcohol, my vinegar, whatever. I have a couple different bottles there, and just sprayed my hands down and got them cleaned off so that I didn't have glue just everywhere. The other thing about VBS last night that I'll mention is I burned my fingers terribly with my hot glue gun when I was assembling the shipwreck ship. And so my fingers were incredibly sore. So we're going to get some glue laid down on this wreath, and then we're going to add some of those tiny little bits and pieces to the wreath. And there I grabbed a Kleenex or paper towel so that I could wipe some of that glue off the tip of my glue bottle. Just trying to get a cleaner, I guess, deposit of glue out of my bottle. And this is hilarious. I mean, it just looks like a whole bunch of junk piled on top of this car. And we've got our wreath, and we're just going to tuck it in there by our yellow package and the back of the car. Now I've still got my envelope with my heart on it that we can add to the grouping. And I lost one of my little bits, so I put a little glue on there and then cleaned it off and then stuck another bit on there. And here's my little envelope, and I'm going to add it down here just to bring some more purple in kind of to the front of that area. I think it's super cute. Here's where I kind of off out of camera because I was zoomed in. Now here I've got my foiled panel, and I'll link all the materials in the description box below so you can check it out. I'm going to get this laid down on here, and then we're going to create some kind of a focal, a base for our focal point, and we'll bring in a couple more Spellbinders dies and just layer up a panel. I'm going to bring in this indigo colored cardstock, and I'm going to use this frame. I was trying to size it up to see if it would fit well, and I'm going to die cut the blue out in this, and then we're going to step down and do the white, and then we'll die cut those out, and those will be our like our frame where we're going to put our focal point. And so here we've got our pieces, and we'll just get them layered up. And I think I pop up the white so that we have a little bit of dimension there. And I think it looks cute. And I really feel like am matching that color card very nicely. So we'll get our indigo laid down. And then I forgot, I wanted to ink blend it. On that color card, there is a lighter blue on there. And I thought I'll bring in that lighter blue. Now you can barely see it. I bent my panel, but I was able to push it down and it was okay. And then you can barely see this light blue on there, but I was just doing that just to kind of take away the starkness of it and to add that lighter blue element that is on that color card. So we'll pop this up, and then we'll have the base for our focal point. And there we go. And I mean, it's full. I mean, that is a full area. I didn't really think about my sentiment and leaving enough room for it. It's just jam-packed with all those bits and pieces and element on there. But I'll figure out a way to cut down a sentiment and get it added to that so that I'll have it for my card. Just going to get it glued down on there. Isn't that fun? So I've got all these sentiments. Most of these are Christmas, Better Press from Spellbinders. And so I'm just going to pick through here and find something that could go nicely. I've got Warm Winter Wishes laying there thinking I was going to use this. And then I had Merry and Bright. I thought the Merry and Bright would work. It was smaller. Now I had it die cut out with kind of the jagged die, but I'm going to realize that I need to cut it down because I just don't have room to make it fit nicely on here. I'm just adding blue to it. So I've got it cut down, and I've got foam on one side of it, and I'm going to lay this down kind of across my panels and just get the Merry and Bright on there. Just get it positioned where I want it. I will straighten it up. It's a little bit crooked there. And I think this card turned out really cute. So I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.